The twin suns of Virelia rose slowly over the jagged horizon, casting long shadows across the Lumari capital, Aurelia. The city had once been vibrant, its towers glinting with the soft bioluminescence that powered their streets. But now a strange pall hung over everything. The air smelled faintly of ash and ozone. Crops had begun to fail, rivers were drying, and strange storms whipped across the landscape with increasing fury. High above the capital, in the Lumari Communications Tower, Arihan Sill, a senior analyst, stared at the blinking console. For hours, he had been sending out a distress call, broadcasting a signal across the stars. It was not an ordinary call. It carried the exact coordinates of the planet, details of the environmental collapse, and a plea for help. The Lumari had never sought help from outsiders before, but desperation left no room for pride. "The response window is closing," Arihan muttered to himself. He adjusted the frequency, hoping the message would reach someone, anyone, who could help. Below, the city trembled as a violent storm swept across the plains, tearing through the fragile crops that still clung to life. The Lumari watched with anxious eyes. This was unlike anything they had faced before. Their scientists had tried to control the storms to restore the rivers, but every attempt seemed to fail. Then, without warning, the night sky brightened with a sudden flash. Across the horizon, a fleet of massive ships appeared, moving with speed and precision that left no room for doubt. These were not ordinary visitors. The fleet descended like a shadow over the planet, engines humming in low, steady tones. Arihan's eyes widened. That's human," he whispered. The stories had always seemed like myths, tales of Deathworlders, humans trained to survive the deadliest planets, capable of feats no other species could match. And now, they had arrived. The largest ship landed first, kicking up a storm of dust and debris. From its hatch, humans emerged, their armor gleaming faintly under the twin suns. They moved with purpose, scanning the environment, their eyes sharp and alert. Leading them was Commander Rhea Kale, a tall, confident figure whose presence seemed to radiate calm and control. Rhea stepped forward, her voice firm but clear over the comms. "We received your signal. We're here to help." Arihan blinked. Could it be that simple? He had feared humans, had expected judgment, even hostility. Yet here they were, ready to assist without question. "Commander Kale," he said, adjusting his translator, We welcome your help. The planet, it is dying." Rhea nodded, her expression serious. "We'll need access to your environmental data and current energy readings immediately. Time is short." The Lumari led her team to the central monitoring hub, where screens flickered with graphs, maps, and strange symbols representing atmospheric readings, soil conditions, and storm trajectories. Humans studied everything with keen interest, their minds working quickly to identify solutions. One of Rhea's engineers, Lieutenant Marcus Vey, crouched over a console, tapping rapidly. "Storm patterns are unusual. Energy readings fluctuate without cause. It's as if the planet itself is unstable." "Yes," Arihan replied. "It has never been like this. The storms, the rivers, they are changing daily. We do not understand why." Rhea's brow furrowed. "Then we'll find out. Humans are good at surviving the impossible. If there is a way to stabilize this planet, we will find it." Meanwhile, outside the city, squads of human specialists spread out. Some studied the dying rivers, others examined the failing crops. They moved with an efficiency that impressed and startled the Lumari. The humans did not complain about the harsh environment, the storms, or the dangerous terrain. They adapted, improvised, and continued working. Arihan observed them, a mixture of awe and relief in his gaze. We feared humans, but they are different. They are protectors." That night, as the twin moons rose over the battered city, Commander Kale gathered her team. Around a holographic map, she traced the patterns of the planet's disaster zones. "The storms are not random," she said, "and the soil degradation is accelerating faster than natural causes would allow. Something is affecting this planet at its core." Lieutenant Vey frowned. "Are you suggesting it's not natural?" "Exactly," Rhea said. "Either this planet is destabilizing due to internal processes or someone, is accelerating the decay. We need to investigate the source." The next morning, humans and Lumari worked side by side. Humans climbed jagged cliffs to take soil samples, waded through shrinking rivers to analyze water purity, and ventured into stormy plains to gather data. Their courage was undeniable. The Lumari had never seen beings willing to risk so much for the sake of another species. In one particularly dangerous region, a human scout named Soren Jax encountered a sudden lightning storm. Trees shattered around him, and the ground shook violently. Without hesitation, he navigated through the chaos, capturing vital readings. When he returned, drenched and bruised, he handed the data to Rhea. "Good work," she said simply, as if it were expected. "Your efforts will save this planet." The Lumari could not hide their astonishment. Such bravery, such determination. It was unlike anything they had seen before. Many whispered among themselves that humans were truly a different kind of being, forged by hardship and danger, capable of extraordinary acts. As the days passed, humans began to detect unusual energy readings deep beneath the planet's surface. Faint pulses, almost like a heartbeat, emanated from the core of Virelia. These pulses were irregular, fluctuating in ways no natural process could explain. Rhea studied the readings carefully. "This is not just environmental collapse," she said. "Something, or someone, is causing it. We need to prepare for the worst." Arihan felt a shiver of fear. "Worst? You mean more storms?" Rhea shook her head. "Worse than storms. We may be dealing with a predator or an ancient mechanism, something designed to survive any interference. Humans have faced dead worlds before. This will test us." That night, as the fleet rested in orbit, Commander Kale gazed down at the planet below. She could see the scars of its suffering, cracked rivers, devastated plains, and cities struggling to survive. She felt a familiar resolve settle over her. Humans had a way of facing impossible odds and emerging stronger. This was just another challenge. "Prepare the survey teams," she told her officers. "Tomorrow we go deeper. We find the cause of this disaster and stop it, no matter the cost." Meanwhile, the Lumari looked on, uncertain but hopeful. For the first time in decades, they felt a sense of security. These humans were dangerous, yes, but in a way that promised protection rather than destruction. They were beings of action, courage, and ingenuity. Beings who could turn the tide when all hope seemed lost. And somewhere deep in the planet, far below the surface, something stirred. Faint, almost imperceptible, the energy pulses quickened as if sensing the intrusion. It was ancient, intelligent, and powerful. It had slumbered for eons, undisturbed, until now. The arrival of humans had awakened more than hope. It had awakened a force that could either doom Virelia or be overcome by the very species the Lumari had once feared. Commander Kyle would face it. Her team would face it. Humanity once again would rise against impossible odds, because that was what humans did. They faced death, danger, and the unknown with courage, ingenuity, and an unwavering will to survive and protect. And so, as the twin moons of Virelia cast silver light over the city, the stage was set. The Deathworlders had arrived. The planet's secret waited. And the story of humanity's courage was about to begin. The following morning, the twin suns of Virelia rose again, painting the skies with soft gold and pink hues. The Lumari city of Aurelia stirred with cautious hope. The human fleet remained in orbit, but a smaller contingent had already spread across the planet, surveying and studying the environment with a precision that left the Lumari both amazed and nervous. Commander Rhea Kyle stood atop a rocky ridge overlooking one of the worst affected regions, a valley where rivers had dried into cracked ribbons and the soil was blackened and lifeless. Around her, the human survey teams moved with practiced efficiency. They were Deathworlders, humans trained for the deadliest worlds, capable of surviving conditions that would kill ordinary beings. They did not flinch at the heat, the dust storms, or the jagged terrain. "Team Alpha, scan the riverbed," Rhea ordered. Her voice was calm but carried authority. "Team Beta, assess the soil composition. We need to understand the problem fully before attempting any solutions." Lieutenant Marcus Vey, her second-in-command, nodded and signaled the teams. Within minutes, humans had dispersed, each carrying specialized equipment designed to survive and adapt. Some used portable drones to map the terrain, while others carefully collected water and soil samples. Arihan Sill and a small group of Lumari scientists followed at a safe distance, marveling at human efficiency. "They move so naturally," Arihan whispered. "No hesitation, no fear. Even in danger, they act calmly and decisively." Rhea overheard him and smiled faintly. "Humans survive where others cannot, because we learn to adapt, think, and act, even in impossible situations." The humans were not just surviving, they were learning the planet's secrets. Data from drones and portable sensors revealed unusual energy patterns beneath the surface. The signals pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat, irregular and unexplained. Lieutenant Vey frowned. "Commander, these readings are unlike anything we've seen. The energy seems alive. It fluctuates, almost as if it's reacting to our presence." Rhea studied the data. "We need to investigate carefully. This could be a natural phenomenon, or it could be something far more dangerous. Either way, caution is necessary." Meanwhile, in the valley, one of the survey teams encountered the first serious challenge. A sudden dust storm whipped across the landscape, carrying sharp grains that cut through protective clothing. Visibility dropped to almost zero. Soren Jax, a scout renowned for his bravery, shouted into his comms, "Commander, the storm is moving faster than expected. We need cover." Rhea's voice crackled back. "Use the terrain to your advantage. Move low, stay close, and protect the instruments at all costs." The humans maneuvered skillfully, sliding behind rocks and ridges while continuing their measurements. When the storm passed, they had gathered more valuable data than the Lumari could have in weeks. Arihan, watching them, shook his head in disbelief. "I have never seen beings so fearless. They do not see danger as a barrier. They see it as a challenge to overcome." Later that day, Rhea convened her officers for a briefing. "We have confirmed that the planet's environment is unstable on multiple levels. The rivers are contaminated with unusual minerals, the soil is breaking down faster than natural erosion would allow, and the energy pulses beneath the surface suggest something unusual is at work." Lieutenant Vey leaned over the holographic map. "If these pulses are alive, they may be intelligent. They could be a predator or a defensive system of some kind. Either way, we need to tread carefully." Rhea nodded. "Agreed. We will send a specialized team tomorrow to investigate further. But tonight we prepare. Humans survive not by waiting for danger to pass, but by anticipating it and adapting." That evening, the Lumari held a quiet gathering in the central plaza. They whispered among themselves, watching the humans move through the city, repairing infrastructure, helping stabilize food stores, and calming frightened citizens. "These humans," one Lumari elder murmured, "they are not like the warriors we feared. They are protectors." They risk everything for others. Another replied, "Perhaps this is why the stories say they can survive worlds others cannot. They are not only strong, they are clever and brave in ways we cannot fully understand." The next day, Rhea led a small team toward the source of the energy pulses. The path took them into the most hostile region of Virelia. Jagged cliffs, deep fissures, and the remnants of violent storms. Each step was a challenge, but the humans moved with determination. As they approached the area, Lieutenant Vey noticed something unusual in the readings. "Commander, these pulses are forming a pattern. It's almost like a network. Not random at all." Rhea's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the scanning drones. I want a full 3D map of the area and the energy source. We need to understand its structure before we interact with it." The humans deployed their drones, which zipped through narrow fissures and over dangerous terrain, sending back a constant stream of data. The energy pulses appeared connected, forming a lattice beneath the planet's surface. Soren Jack stepped closer to one fissure and peered into the darkness. "It's huge," he said quietly. "Whatever this is, it's bigger than anything on the surface." Rhea studied the readings. "It may not be hostile yet, but it is aware of our presence. We need to proceed carefully and respectfully." Suddenly, a minor tremor shook the ground, and dust cascaded from the cliffs. The Lumari scientists accompanying the humans gasped in fear. One of them whispered, "The planet itself is alive. It seems to resist us." Rhea shook her head. "Not the planet. Something beneath it. Something ancient, powerful, and perhaps intelligent." Despite the danger, the humans continued their survey. They were calm, precise, and fearless, moving as a coordinated unit. The Lumari watched, fascinated and inspired. Later, Rhea held a meeting with the Lumari leaders. "We understand your planet is in crisis. We also understand that there is more than just environmental collapse here. There is an active force beneath the surface. We will investigate it, contain it if necessary, and stabilize your planet. But we will need your cooperation and trust." Arihan Sil stepped forward. "You ask much of us, Commander Kale, but we trust you. We have no other choice, and perhaps, in trusting you, we may find hope." The humans spent the next few days working with the Lumari. They set up monitoring stations, stabilized critical food supplies, and trained the Lumari in basic survival techniques for harsh conditions. But most importantly, they demonstrated human ingenuity. Using simple but effective methods, they repaired broken irrigation systems, diverted storm runoff, and even modified protective domes to withstand acid rain. Everywhere they went, the Lumari noticed the humans' unique approach. Instead of relying solely on advanced technology, they used clever thinking, improvisation, and creativity to solve problems. One day, as Rhea and her team surveyed a particularly unstable ridge, Soren Jax pointed to a series of strange markings etched into the stone. "These aren't natural," he said. "Some intelligent being left them here long ago." Rhea knelt and examined the symbols. "Could be warnings, or a record. Either way, it may help us understand the source of the energy pulses." Arihan, translating the markings with his knowledge of ancient Lumari scripts, gasped. "These indicate a predator, a force that consumes entire ecosystems. It may have slept for centuries, but these warnings suggest it can awaken." Rhea's expression hardened. "Then we must prepare. Humans survive by facing danger directly, and that is exactly what we will do. We will investigate further, contain the threat if necessary, and protect your planet." The Lumari realized that humanity was not only capable of surviving Virelia's harshest conditions, but also capable of turning adversity into action, something no other species had ever demonstrated on such a scale. As night fell, Commander Kale gazed over the ridge at the city below. The twin moons of Virelia cast a silver glow over the devastated landscape. Somewhere deep beneath the planet, the predator waited, its energy pulsing faintly through the crust. Rhea turned to her officers. Tomorrow we go deeper. We will face the source, learn its nature, and find a way to stabilize this planet. Humans do not wait for miracles. We create them. The Lumari, watching from below, felt a strange mixture of fear and hope. They had sent a signal into the void, calling for help, and humanity had answered. The humans had come not just to survive, but to fight, protect, and inspire. And somewhere below the planet's surface, the ancient pulses responded. The predator sensed the humans, and its presence shifted, almost aware of the challenge before it. Virelia's story was no longer one of despair. With the Deathworlders here, there was now hope, courage, and action. Humanity had arrived, and the planet would never be the same. The morning light revealed Virelia in a fragile state. Rivers shimmered faintly, their waters tainted with strange minerals, and the plains were dotted with withered crops. Yet for the first time in decades, there was a sense of hope. The humans had not only arrived, they had begun to restore balance to a world that teetered on the edge of disaster. Commander Rhea Kale stood at the head of a small expedition team. She scanned the rugged terrain with her binoculars, noting the jagged cliffs and deep fissures where the planet's mysterious energy pulses seemed strongest. Around her, Lieutenant Marcus Vey and Soren Jax adjusted their equipment, ready to venture into regions no other beings had survived before. "Keep your sensors active," Rhea said. "These energy readings are unlike anything we've faced. They may be intelligent. If we disturb them incorrectly, the planet could suffer irreparable damage." The team moved cautiously into the valley. Their boots crunched on cracked soil, and each step sent small tremors echoing through the fissures. The air was thick, carrying the faint smell of ozone and a metallic tang that made the Lumari scientists uneasy. "Commander," Lieutenant Vey said, pointing to a flickering glow beneath a ridge, "the pulses are stronger here. They're almost reacting to our presence." Rhea nodded. "Good. That means we're close. Prepare the drones. I want a complete scan before we proceed further." The drones zipped through the narrow fissures, sending live data back to the team. The readings revealed a lattice of energy pulsating beneath the planet's crust, like the veins of a living organism. But this organism was unlike any known life. Its energy was immense, ancient, and deliberate. Soren Jax peered down into a deep fissure. This isn't just energy. It's alive. It moves. And it's huge." Rhea studied the data carefully. "It may not be hostile yet, but it is aware. We need to prepare for any scenario." As they advanced, the ground beneath them trembled slightly, and a low, resonant hum echoed from the fissures. The Lumari scientists accompanying the humans exchanged nervous glances. "Commander Kale," Arihan Sill whispered. "What is it? What have we awakened?" Rhea's voice was calm. "Something ancient. Something that survived eons beneath this planet, but humans have faced dead worlds before. We can face this too." Suddenly, the earth shifted violently. A fissure opened beneath the team, sending rocks and dust cascading down. The humans reacted instantly, using their training to stabilize themselves and protect the Lumari scientists. From the depths, a shadow emerged. Massive, sleek, and alien, it moved with terrifying grace. The energy pulses coalesced into a form, a predator unlike any creature known to the galaxy. Its eyes glowed faintly, and its body radiated the same energy that had caused Virelia's environmental collapse. Rhea's voice remained steady, but her mind raced. "It's large, intelligent. Observe its behavior before engaging. We do not strike blindly." The predator's gaze fixed on the humans, analyzing, assessing. It lunged suddenly, causing a small tremor in the earth. The team scattered instinctively. taking cover behind rocks and boulders. Soren Jax activated a tethering device to stabilize the team, while Lieutenant Vey deployed drones to monitor the creature. The Lumari gasped. "It's enormous. How can humans face such a thing?" Rhea turned to Arihan. "Humans face impossible odds not because we are fearless, but because we think, adapt, and act together. Watch carefully. You will see why humanity survives where others cannot." The team worked quickly, analyzing the predator's movements and energy patterns. They realized that its attacks were calculated, targeting structural weaknesses in the terrain rather than attacking recklessly. It was intelligent, but it was also predictable if one observed carefully. Rhea devised a plan. "We will not fight it head-on. We will contain it. We will use its own energy patterns against it. This is not just about survival, it is about protecting the planet and its people." Lieutenant Vey nodded. "We can deploy energy anchors in a grid formation. They will redirect the pulses and contain the predator's movements." The humans moved with precision. Soren and a small team braved the predator's gaze, placing anchors at key points across the valley. Each step was dangerous, each movement calculated, and every member relied on the others for support. The predator reacted, sensing the interference. Energy pulses surged violently, shaking the ground. But the humans remained calm, adjusting the anchors and using the terrain to their advantage. The Lumari watched from a distance, astonished. They had never seen beings act with such courage, intelligence, and cohesion. Humans risked their lives not out of recklessness, but out of purpose, to protect others, to solve impossible problems, and to face dangers that no other species would dare confront. Finally, the last anchor was placed. Lieutenant Vey activated the grid, and a network of energy fields expanded, channeling the pulses and limiting the predator's movement. The creature roared, its body glowing with energy, but it could not break free. Rhea stepped forward, observing the containment. "Good. It's restrained, but not destroyed. We do not want to kill it. We want to understand it, and keep it from harming the planet." Soren Jax smiled faintly. "Humans don't always destroy the things that threaten them. We adapt, contain, and protect. That's what makes us different." The predator thrashed, testing its confinement. Its eyes scanned the humans, almost curiously. It seemed to recognize the ingenuity and determination of these beings who dared to challenge it. Slowly, it calmed, and the energy pulses stabilized. Arihan approached Rhea cautiously. "Commander Kale, you faced it, and it lives. Why?" Rhea looked at him. "Because humans value life, even when facing impossible odds. Strength is not just about force, it's about intelligence, courage, and the will to protect others. That is humanity's way." Over the next several hours, the humans monitored the predator, learning its patterns and energy fluctuations. They began to devise a long-term plan to coexist safely, using energy anchors to prevent the creature from causing further harm while allowing it to survive in its natural environment. The Lumari began to understand what they had always feared and now admired. Humans were not merely warriors. They were thinkers, innovators, and protectors. They risked themselves for others, and their courage inspired hope in a world that had nearly given up. As night fell, Commander Kyle gathered her team. "We've contained the immediate threat, but we cannot relax. The predator is ancient and intelligent. We must continue to monitor, learn, and prepare for anything. Humanity survives by facing the unknown, not by fearing it." The Lumari scientists, inspired and awed, worked alongside the humans, learning techniques and strategies that would help them manage their world long after the Deathworlders departed. Arihan watched the humans, a deep respect forming in his heart. "They are more than we imagined," he said quietly. "Not just powerful, but wise, courageous, and selfless." Rhea's team spent the next days strengthening the containment field and analyzing the Predator's behavior. They developed contingency plans, tested strategies, and taught the Lumari how to maintain the system. Each day, the humans demonstrated HFY principles: courage, ingenuity, teamwork, and the moral choice to protect life even when danger is high. During one particularly tense moment, the Predator tested the field with a surge of energy, causing tremors across the valley. Soren and Marcus worked tirelessly to adjust the anchors while Rhea coordinated the effort from a safe ridge. "Keep calm," Rhea ordered. "We know its patterns. We can handle this." Hours later, the Predator's energy subsided, and the humans had reinforced the containment grid successfully. The Lumari cheered quietly, amazed at what had been accomplished. They had witnessed beings that could face near-certain death and emerge victorious, not by brute force, but by intelligence, courage, and teamwork. Finally, Commander Kale addressed the Lumari. "Your planet has faced a great challenge, but it has not fallen. Humans survive impossible worlds because we adapt, protect, and act with purpose. We do not seek glory. We seek to ensure life survives, and that is what we have done here together." The Lumari bowed their heads in respect. For the first time, they truly understood humanity. These beings, feared for their power, were also beacons of hope. They could face the impossible and prevail, not through aggression, but through courage, intelligence, and moral resolve. As the twin moons of Viralia rose over the valley, the Predator lay confined but alive, its energy pulses calm and steady. The humans had won not by destruction but by restraint and wisdom. And in that quiet moment, Commander Kyle reflected on humanity's role in the galaxy. "We survive," she said softly, "not because we are stronger, but because we rise to challenges others cannot face, and we protect life wherever we go." The story of humans on Viralia was far from over. The Predator still waited beneath the surface, ancient and powerful, and the planet still needed care. But humanity had arrived. They had acted with courage, intelligence, and heart. And in doing so, they had shown the Lumari, and perhaps the galaxy itself, what it truly meant to be human. The sun rose over Viralia, casting golden light on the valley that had once been scarred by storms, famine, and the energy pulses of the ancient Predator beneath the surface. Now, with the careful work of Commander Rhea Kale and the Deathworlder team, the land showed the first signs of recovery. Rivers shimmered faintly with cleaner water, soil stabilized, and the once withered plains now bore small patches of greenery. Commander Kyle stood at the ridge, surveying the valley below. Her eyes traced the carefully maintained grid of energy anchors that contained the Predator. The creature's pulses were steady, no longer chaotic or destructive. Though confined, it remained alive, a reminder of the planet's past dangers and the care required to ensure its future. "Everything looks stable," Lieutenant Marcus Vey said beside her. "The Predator is calm, and the planet's energy readings are returning to normal. We've done it." Rhea nodded, though her expression remained thoughtful. "This is only the beginning. The planet will need ongoing care, monitoring, and guidance. But we've prevented immediate disaster. That is what humans do. We face the impossible, solve the problem, and leave a path for others to continue." Below them, the Lumari moved among the humans, working side by side. Children watched in awe as engineers showed them how to maintain energy anchors, while farmers learned techniques to stabilize crops and purify water. The Lumari had never seen such collaboration between species, nor such selfless dedication to helping another world. Arihan Sil approached Rhea, his eyes wide with respect. "I have never seen a species so committed, so fearless, and so wise. You have done more than save our planet. You have given us hope and a vision for the future." Rhea smiled faintly. We did not do it alone. Your people helped, learned, and trusted us. Humans survive dangerous worlds not just through strength, but through teamwork and adaptation. That includes inspiring others to rise to the challenge. The team spent the following days reinforcing the containment grid and stabilizing the environment. The Predator, though confined, was monitored carefully. Its energy pulses, once erratic, now followed a predictable rhythm. Scientists concluded that it was intelligent, but not hostile, responding to the humans' efforts with a cautious respect. During this time, the Lumari began to implement the lessons they had learned. Farmers repaired irrigation systems, engineers maintained anchor points, and city officials worked to restore damaged infrastructure. The humans guided, taught, and assisted, but they did not dominate. They showed respect for the Lumari's knowledge, blending it with their own experience to create a cooperative effort that strengthened both species. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Rhea gathered her team for a debrief. The Predator is stable, Virelia's environment is improving, and the Lumari have learned the skills needed to maintain this progress. She paused, scanning the horizon. Humanity's role here is complete, for now. We came, we acted, we protected. That is the essence of what humans do. Soren Jax, leaning on his staff, grinned. And we did it without unnecessary violence. We adapted, contained, and protected. The Lumari will remember this, and so will the Predator. Arihan approached, holding a small ceremonial token from the Lumari Council. Commander Kael, on behalf of the Lumari, we wish to thank you and your people. Your courage, wisdom, and dedication have changed our civilization. You have shown us the value of courage, intelligence, and moral responsibility. Rhea accepted the token with a nod. We are honored. Humans survive worlds that others consider impossible because we face danger directly, protect life, and inspire others to do the same. Remember this: hope and courage are more powerful than fear and despair. The Lumari held a small ceremony in the central plaza, honoring the humans' efforts. Citizens of all ages gathered to celebrate the planet's recovery, the Predator's containment, and the partnership between humans and Lumari. Songs of gratitude filled the air, and banners depicted images of humans working courageously to protect life. Throughout the celebrations, the humans moved quietly among the crowd, helping where needed, offering guidance and demonstrating humility. Though their achievements were monumental, they sought no glory. Their presence alone inspired hope, a living example of the HFY spirit, humanity's courage, ingenuity, and selflessness. Meanwhile, scientists continued to study the Predator. Its energy pulses, once destructive, now formed a stable pattern, almost as if it recognized the humans' intentions. Arihan noted that, while it remained dangerous if mishandled, it could coexist peacefully with the Lumari civilization under careful observation. Rhea and her officers prepared to leave. The fleet would return to orbit, then jump to their next mission. The humans had arrived without warning, faced a deadly world, confronted a hidden threat, and left a legacy of hope, courage, and knowledge. Before departure, Rhea spoke to the Lumari Council. Your planet will recover. Your people are resilient, and now you have the knowledge to continue stabilizing it. Humans do not act for reward or recognition. We act because life is worth protecting, and because hope must always have champions. Arihan bowed deeply. You are more than we imagined. You are not just survivors. You are teachers, protectors, and beacons of hope. Virelia will remember humanity forever. As the humans boarded their ships, children waved from the city streets, and the Lumari cheered. The twin moons reflected the shining hulls of the Deathworlder fleet as it prepared to jump to hyperspace. For the Lumari, it was a moment of profound gratitude and inspiration. For humanity, it was another world where courage, intelligence, and moral action had made the difference. As the fleet vanished into the stars, Commander Kale looked out at the horizon. "Another world saved," she said softly. "Another proof that humanity rises to challenges others cannot face, that we protect life, and that we inspire hope wherever we go." The Lumari would continue to thrive, the Predator would remain contained, and the planet would heal, slowly but surely. Humanity's legacy on Virelia was not just in survival or strength, but in the example they had set, that courage, ingenuity, and selflessness could triumph even in the face of ancient, unimaginable danger. Arihan reflected on the events as he watched the fleet disappear. "Humans," he whispered to himself. "They are more than we feared. They are a promise that even the deadliest worlds can be saved when beings have courage, intelligence, and heart." The twin moons rose high, casting silver light over a recovering planet. Rivers shimmered with renewed life, fields began to grow again, and the Predator's pulses harmonized with the planet's rhythms. The story of Virelia's crisis had become a story of hope, collaboration, and the extraordinary nature of humanity. For the first time in decades, the Lumari slept peacefully. They had faced the impossible, but humanity had shown them that no threat is insurmountable when courage and intelligence combine. The Deathworlder fleet had arrived without warning, confronted a hidden threat, and left a world stronger, safer, and inspired. And somewhere among the stars, Commander Kale and her crew prepared for the next challenge, ready to face the unknown with the same calm courage and ingenuity that had saved Virelia. Humanity would continue to rise to challenges no one else could face, leaving hope and legacy wherever it went. The galaxy had witnessed once again the essence of humanity: fearless, resourceful, and selfless. Virelia would never forget the day the Deathworlders arrived, and the galaxy, too, would remember that humanity could face the deadliest of worlds and prevail, not through dominance, but through courage, intelligence, and the unyielding desire to protect life.